In its fourth season, 12 races across 6 rounds for 12 weeks, the fortnightly Tanso Touring Car Series is back. Familiar drivers, familiar format, 2 times 20-minute races, a 3-lap quali sets the first grid, and then a 12-car reverse for the 20-minute feature race is your Tanso TCR Championship. Welcome everybody, we're back. My name's Rob Sutherland. I'm joined by my colleague Rob Jackson.
Good evening, Rob.
And yeah, we're back. So, another couple of bits of information as well. We have 3 new circuits this year. This is the first one of the 3. This is Mid-Ohio, which is a fantastic little circuit in America with 13 corners, all of which can kill you at any particular time. And then a round 3, we're visiting Daytona Road, which is a legacy circuit, which is free content, so great for newcomers. And then the 4th round, we're visiting Canadian Tires Motorsport Park in Canada, I think. So that's some new things as well. Welcome, Rob. How are you looking forward to today's race?
Yeah, it'll be good, won't it? We've, we had that little break before the final round of last season, and it was going to be a couple of weeks longer, but 2 weeks gone by quite quick. And it'll be interesting to see how people attack this season and what fun it'll bring. Right,
so we have some new faces and some returning. In fact, I think we only got one real new face at the moment, and that's Alan McCain, who we see on screen now in the Matrix Motorsport team. He's joined his friend Daniel Warren on the grid for the first round, and we'd expect some good things from him. I think that's quite an old name, Alan McCain. He's quite a quick boy as well. So he's one of the drivers that's picked the Audi. You've joined us through qualification, the aforementioned 3-lap hot quali, and we're just going to watch some people set their times now. They're all on their flyer, I think, Mr. Jackson.
Yeah, these we've only got Daniel Wareham, who's yet to start his flying lap, but everybody else, as you say, are on their first flying lap now. Looks like Scott Malcolm's going to be, Neil Stevenson looks like he's going to be the first car across the start-finish line. So we'll see what time he puts in the Ignium car. Sorry.
We go as well. It's 5 seconds in, and we've got those 2 teams mixed up, Rob.
Yeah.
as I think, Derek Crowther, the Insignia boss, intended. I think when he started that team up and called them that. I think so. McKinley's top of the board, followed by Neil Stevenson in the aforementioned Ignium car. Another Ignium driver, relatively new Ignium driver we saw end of last season. Scott Malcolm, he's currently 3rd position. Derek Crowther is set a 4th. Alan McCain in his debuts, currently 5th with Dudley in 6th. The rest are sort of folding their way through now. Last season's champion, Dan Mould, team status unknown, currently hasn't set a lap yet. I think he might be doing his last to first thing again. Stevenson just gone up into 2nd.
Yep, you're just saying there about Dan doing his last to first. He's not got his old sparring partner Cal in this season so far. Now I don't know if he's just missing the first race or if he's not going to race again. But between them 2 last year, they both decided to do quite a few last to first challenges.
And exciting it was too, especially when they didn't get the rub of the green their own way. So John Brown, we've just seen pop up in the 3rd position in one of the Code Brown machines. And waiting for a lap on Daniel Wareham, Elliot James and Sam J. Smith. I didn't see Sam J. Smith join the session, Mr. Jackson.
No, he snuck in, so that means we've got 14 cars for round number 1. He snuck in there, didn't he, at the last second?
Yeah, so we've got one of the Simtech cars here, one of the Simtech Excite cars. I get them confused, that name. I think it's just Simtech for Sam. But we've got one of these guys, and he is just on his outlap at the moment. There we see. And he's in the 527 machine. Right? He's just sat at pit exit at the moment. I don't know if he's waiting for a gap in the traffic, because there is no traffic on a solo qualifier. Everyone else, or almost everyone else, is on their last flyer now. We're looking at McKinley and Stevenson. Stevenson on screen, we'll be looking to duke it out. I think that we're looking for a very strong season from McKinley, I think, and Dan Mould. That might be maybe if Callum doesn't turn up, Andrew McKinley will on track. I think to give Dan, reigning champion, a little bit of a challenge on the circuit. So the last flying lap coming to the end now. We see Daniel Wareham in the Team Matrix car.
Yeah, he's just starting his second flying lap, so he's one of the cars that are at the back. Like I say, everyone else is on their final flying lap now. And it looks like it's going to be interesting between the two Ignium cars of Andrew and Neil, because there's not much of a gap between them at the moment, really, just 1/10 of a second.
And we're looking at about a 90-second lap round here. So we've got a 6 position, probably time for Daniel Wareham, I think, easily to set a couple of laps. Not sure Sam J. Smith is looking to set a lap, to be honest with you. I think he might be looking to join Dan at the back. But Elliot James, I think, has just popped himself into 10th position with a 1:31.78, and that was his last lap. So I think he had a couple of off tracks on his previous lap. So it's good for him to get his banker on his last lap, Rob.
Yeah, he probably hoped to be slightly higher up the field there, but 10th position is not too bad. And it gives him plenty to go. As we just see there, Ryan Dudley sets a 1:30.3 to go third place on the grid.
So we're up in the blimp to take a look over at Mid-Ohio. It's a fairly typical American circuit. The Indy cars do race here. Some of the quick stuff do race here. There are 13 corners and a couple of tricky ones as well. The first section just pops up through T1. You can see there on the right-hand side. That goes up around a hairpin and back again. And then it all goes down into a nice little bit of twisty section. It should produce some quite good racing and probably some ambitious sends, I think. So we've got Dudley and Brown on track at the moment. I think they've done their fastest lap. I think they've done all of their laps now. We're just waiting for Daniel Wareham, I think. Sam J. Smith, I don't think he's going to set any laps.
No, we've got Daniel Wareham now, who's on his third and final flying lap. But Sam has started his, he's about 3/4 of the way through now. So he will be coming up to the end of his lap first, and all being well, if he's not had any off tracks, he should set a time on the timing tower.
Excellent. So that's not a paint I recognise. Maybe that's just me. But the 527 machine, another Hyundai Elantra, is coming out of the last corner onto the start finish, and he will go into 9th position, relegating Daniel Wareham, Elliot James, Mark Brown, and JC Johnson down a position. There's a fairly good spread of cars today. All the Hyundais at the front, as per normal at the moment. But I think Ryan Dudley is an Velastar, so he's mixing up a bit. I think Neil Stevenson might have been a Velastar. I can't remember. We have seen him a fair bit.
Neil is in the Velastar, however you pronounce it.
Yeah, wherever I pronounce it, it's not the correct way. The highest Honda, John Brown, in 4th position currently. Highest Audi is in 5th, so write that down on a piece of paper, because Audis do like a pretty good start, so we should better see him pop up, I think. Daniel Wareham is in 10th, Sam J. Smith is in 9th. We're just waiting for these guys to go. I think they've got under a minute left to quali, and then we're going to have quite a rushed grid, I think, before we go on to the start, Rob.
Yep, so like I said, Sam, he's currently on his second flying lap, and so far he's setting green sectors, so he is up on his quickest time previous, but I don't think he'll get his third flying lap in. As you say, we've now got coming up to 30 seconds left in qualification.
So it's still pretty much as it were. Alan McCain, I did see, was on there. He was 3rd position for quite a lot of that, but it looked like Dudley and John Brown did take the positions off him. I think that's probably the highest Ryan Dudley has qualified in Tanso. No, Sam J. Smith just goes in 5th position. He pulls out of the bag fairly late, Mr. Jackson.
Yeah, that's right. Like I said, he was currently in 9th, 10th position, and quicker lap takes him back up to 5th, and just knocks Alan McCain down into 6th place as we get the final. We get the finish.
Right, so I will run through the grid very, very, very quickly. Currently, we have Andrew McKinley takes pole position for the first round this season. Neil Stevenson joins him on the front row, 2nd position. 3rd position, Ryan Dudley in 4th. John Brown, 5th. Sam J. Smith. 6th position, Alan McCain. 7th position, Scott Malcolm. And 8th position, rejoining is Dean Hammond. 9th position, Derek Crowder. 10th is Daniel Wareham. 11th is Elliot James. 12th position, Mark Brown. 13th position is JC Johnson. And 14th position, starting from the back, having not set a qualification time, is Daniel Mould. Right, Rob, we are on the start grid.
Yep, we're on the start grid now, and we've got Andrew there in pole position on the right-hand side of the track as we look at it. So he'll be hoping to get a great start to bolster his chances into turn 1 and try and lead this race for the first lap.
So it goes left, and then there's a 90-degree right. Very tight hairpin in this, so look for a bit of 2x2 through that section, I think, especially with compressed traffic. And we're just waiting for Sam J. Smith to join the grid now.
Yes, like you said, Sam's the last car there now, so he's probably playing mind games to try in.
So it's an Ignium front row lockout. We can see the couple of Matrix cars there back on the outside of the grid. And we're just waiting for Daniel Wareham to rejoin. I hope he doesn't miss the start, Rob.
Yeah, that's not good, is it? Especially the first race of the season. You want to get off to a good start, as we see Daniel there just pop into screen. And so does Sam as well, with 15 seconds left to go. So
right,
lights,
so we're gonna hear the revs.
Yep, lights have just come on now. So 3, 4, 5, and away we go.
So a bit of a Hyundai wheel spin there, back all the way back in 6th position. We're 3-4 wide at the start. We go see through turn number 1. Are they going to turn up? Yes, they are. There you go. You can see the Velastar in the lead of Neil Stevenson, followed by McKinley, defended from John Brown. John Brown will have the inside line, come up to T2.
Yep, that's right. It's not the best of starts there from Andrew McKinley. He dropped down into 3rd place at one point, but he's managed to get back up to 2nd. Just
Bit
as
of
we
a
see
bump there
him
for
run
Sam
wide.
J. Smith, I think. Just under braking. Bit of an elaborate cutback there from Scott Malcolm, one of the more experienced drivers on the field, and he just switched back lovely. And that's a good couple of positions caught from him. And he looks like he's absolutely clear of that pack now as they go down the kink into China Bend or China Hill, which is a very, very cambered corner. Very easy to mess up on the outside line. See how Scott does it, chucks it in. There's a Matrix car on the grass there, Rob.
Yep, he's just trying to blend in there, I think, to his natural surroundings.
He did, absolutely. He went camouflage for just a second. So now they're going to a little combination of over a crest, left, right, left, and now over another crest, and now through the right-hand side. You can see the Insignia car, or the Ignium car, sorry, second time I've done that. Just looking to see if there's an inside line. It's all about keeping the front tyres with fairly good traction around here. You can see the Matrix car of Wareham, Alan McCain, sorry, has dropped right back. He might have there's probably a slowdown that I may not have known there. As now they're going to the heavy braking zone and they're into the carousel. Yes, this is an American circuit. They do like a carousel. And you can see the Velastar that goes in first. The Elantra comes out in second, followed by John Brown, Ryan Dudley, Scott Malcolm, and Daniel Wareham.
Yep, so as we finish the first lap of the season, Neil Stevenson, he set the fastest lap and also crosses in 1st position. So he got a decent start and managed to jump his teammate into T1 and lead the first lap.
By 1.5 seconds. That's a fantastic start from Neil Stevenson. And just looking back, Sam J. Smith and Alan McCain. I think Sam J. Smith, oh, that's Ryan Dudley just off again. I think Sam's just recovering. I don't know if Alan McCain's still circulating. And I don't know if we missed anything there.
Yep, Alan is just there at the back, now coming up to the keyhole, which is turn 2 on the circuit.
Right, excellent. So, looking at the back is JT Johnson now under a bit of pressure from Sam J. Smith as they're going to try to bend one more time. And it's just such a lovely little combination of corners, this. Just all really one optimum line through them all, really. One corner sets up the other, really. But if your tyres are in a bit of a bad state, it's easy pickings of the car behind. As we see Dean Hammond in the familiar SRL livery, who we have seen such notable drivers, such as Al Brown, and one of the seasoned champion, Craig Walters wear. This is the other Insignia car, Derek Crowther. That's a new paint. Looks like it's been debuted, tried out by Derek to see how he likes it. And behind is Dan Molden, number 8 machine, current reigning champion out of the last corner. He's currently up in 8th position.
Yeah, so Dan there gained 6 positions in the first couple of laps. So he is the biggest gainer of the field so far. And then the second biggest gainer is Daniel Wareham, who's just 2 places in front of him, who's now defending the 2 cars behind.
So Daniel Wareham just parks on the inside. I think we won't go there, but I think Elliot James had a bit of an off-track earlier. I don't know if there's a bit of contact there between Derek and Daniel as he defends, but I don't think there's anywhere flat around this circuit, frankly. So it is a bit of an undulating circuit, and you can throw these cars off when you go into a corner sometimes, especially UK a bit more straight. Through the kink, Dan Mould has a look on the inside. Derek shows him a car's width. And now we go 3 wide into China Bend, ladies and gentlemen. Is it going to work?
Just as we see them all come in, no, it doesn't. Dan backs off, and Derek tries to go around the inside, but Daniel actually manages to hold it and comes out in front of in that little trio of cars.
I think there was a tiny little bit of netcode there from Derek on Dan. It looks like they kind of saved that, got it going again as we go over another crest, and Derek still keeps that defence on. So go flick through the left, and this is going to set them up for the carousel.
Just, yep, sorry. I thought there was another battle closer, but it as we flicked to it, the gap went a bit bigger. So we're back here now with Dan and Derek, who last season were teammates at Insignia. But this season, we're not quite sure of Dan's status with not driving or not running in Insignia livery.
Yeah, I think we might have to do some sleuthing to find out that, or maybe just grab Dan a little later on yeah, do a little bit of waterboarding and find out. I think excellent first corner by Dan, and you look to see he's now around the outside. And I think it's you that said earlier, is he's got that move absolutely done and cuts across in front of Derek. And yeah, you can, I heard, pass around the outside. I don't think I've tried it successfully yet, but still, Dan makes that look very easy through the hairpin. And now he's down in the chase, and he looked like he's going to, in fact, I think that's called Thunder Valley from memory, and he's going to absolutely show that Audi, if Daniel Worm, a set of hills, I think, as they come into the China Bend area.
That's right, as Dan makes it past, and Thunder Valley is actually the other side of the circuit, Rob, just looking at the track map. So it's between turns 9, 10 and 11.
Oh, yeah, right, okay, I had my track map upside down. Right, okay, easy mistake to make. It's just, you know, it's just lines, isn't it? Lines and hills and stuff. Dan Mould clear, 6th position, +8. I think we go to the front now. We're going to see how the battle between John Brown and Ryan Dudley is going on. Is that quite a close one on track?
It's 0.7 of a second at the moment. It was shorter before, so Ryan Dudley is just dropping off the back of John at the moment. But with the TCR cars, draft is very
good round here.
Good. That's right, yes.
I think if we go back to Sam J. Smith, who looks like he's recovering, which I think he's in between a barrel of cars. So looks like that's Honda, Elantra, Honda, and then another Honda further in front. Have we seen this many Hondas around before? But looks like Sam J. Smith just recovering nicely. We saw him off the back at the start after he got his car just off the grass a little bit. Looks like he's taken advantage of Dean Hammond through T1, who just ran a little bit wide there. And now we're going to see if he can get this job done before the hairpin.
Yep, as he comes in, it's a hard braking zone, and Sam ran the outside, so Dean managed to keep it up the inside there and hold track position. But as we see Sam there, looks like he gets a good run out on a nice long straight coming up past a little kink in turn 3, heading up to turn 4 and turn 5. And we see Mark Brown there just having a flash of the lights, not quite sure why.
He knows he's on camera, Mark Brown. Oh yeah, actually no, I know what it is. He sent me a picture. He's got a brand new steering wheel, which is fine. Thanks for sending me that picture, Mark. But you're showing me kit I can't afford, mate. It makes me very upset. But still, maybe he's just testing the buttons. Maybe he thought that one was a go faster one, and instead it just flashed the lights. So either way, successful move done from Sam. He's now got past Dean Hammond. He's bearing down on the said light flasher of Mark Brown in the Code Brown machine. And it looks like he's going to be right up him as they go into the complex which houses the carousel.
That's right, so we just go around the left hand of turn 11 into turn 12, the carousel. And he goes in slightly deep there, Sam, but cuts the corner slightly. And the quick left-hander now onto the start-finish straight. Hopefully gets a good run out of it and could maybe attack into turn 1. If not, maybe attack into turn 2.
There is a fair bit of front end grip, as I say, as Mark Brown absolutely overheats into that corner. Looks like a very settled car from Mr. Smith. He looks like he's got that nice balanced and composed. And that Elantra appears to be working for him.
Yep, just as Mark and Dean went side by side into turn 2. But Mark comes out in front there because I think Dean had a little flashing moment in then. So Mark's tucked in behind Sam, just benefiting from the draft there. So hopefully he can stay behind him and not lose him soon. So he can. That's
a hell of a send by Dean, and that's as close as you can get without ending up in the grass and in the fence, I think, from Dean. Fantastic save. I mean, he got it into the corner. But that was a brown trouser moment there from the policeman, I think.
Still talking about brown trouser moments, we jump to the battle between John Brown and Ryan Dudley, which is only 0.3 of a second. Ryan Dudley's all over the back of John and is looking to put pressure on to make the car in front have a mistake and let him pass into the final podium position.
Yeah, so this is it. Battle for third position. Dudley on top of Brown. Brown, who had a fantastic season last season in Tanso Championship, finishing second position. And Ryan, who had a very, very good late season improvement in his TCR driving. And he's really, really looking forward to carry that into season number 4. He has a look, decides against it. And you can just see from this camera shot how it just changes as you go over that little rise, and it just falls away from you. A little bit off camber maybe, and you've just got to get the power down to get a really good exit. And it looks like John Brown's had the exit there that Ryan Dudley wishes he had.
Yeah, John pulled away slightly, so the gap's still it was 0.3 of a second, but it's closed down now. It closed down to 0.2. I wish they wouldn't move so much because I start one thing and then the gap changes.
Well, we see behind, and we see the Ignium car, third time, damn it, of Scott Malcolm behind. It looks like he's catching, but last time out, it was just there was like a 100th maybe in it between these guys. The person who is catching, predictably, last season's champion Dan Mould. He's under 2 seconds away from this fight now. So I think when we go over the start-finish straight, let's go on board, I think, Rob.
Yep, we will do that. We'll just watch this battle on the way down to the as they head up now to around the final corner, or around the carousel coming up to the final corner. As we see there that the gap closes ever so slightly, but then John gets a slightly better run out and pulls the gap even more. So as you said, we'll go on board now with Dan and we can watch from his view.
So on board now with the we'll see in the Velastar, isn't he, through T1 over the curb, and now we're up and we can see the boys in front, 2 ahead, so we'll be able to see a little we're going to see what they do from the viewpoint of Dan, I think.
That's right, and like I said, the last lap there, Dan was a second quicker than the cars in front, so the gap is a second. So going off that, by the end of this lap, he should be there or thereabouts on the back end of Scott.
Yeah, and they're just alongside still as they go. This is into the China. This is the kink bit we see here. We go over a rise and into a heavily cambered section. We can see on board of Scott Malcolm now as they're alongside in front. They're just leaving each other racing room, which is always nice. And now we go through the left, right, lefts. And Dan Mould, you can see right up behind these guys. And
yeah, so
he'll be itching to get involved, I think.
Yeah, you're going to say Dan benefited from a massive toe there on the long straight there, coming past turn 3 into turn 4. And like I said, now it's right on the back of Scott. It'll be all over him like a rash. And Scott's also keeping one eye up front to see what happens with the 2 cars. So
I think now we go and look at the guys through the carousel, through the left. It looks like Dan Mould's got that job done as Scott Malcolm. Will we see Scott Malcolm do the undercut? And he might just, I don't know if he's going to get this done before turn number 1, to be honest, because Dan's getting really good traction from this Velastar. And he's getting out of these corners so much better. Yeah, you can see there the gap now between Dan and Scott. He's 0.6 of a second already. So Dan somehow's got that Velastar turned on and the front wheels up to temperature, and is easily pulling gaps and catching the cars in front. Right, outside we go. We can see Dan Mould now. The guys once again are side by side, and big chunk taken out on the braking from Dan Mould now. So he looks to line himself up. We've seen him do this a couple of times already. Get a really good exit out of the hairpin. And now he's on the old start finish straight. I can read the map correctly, Rob. And he's just coming down now to China Hill, China Bend. That's right, so again we've got John Brown on the inside as Dan there dives on the inside as well, heavy on the brakes not to catch and run into the back of John as John touches the grass, which knocks him slightly wide and opens the door up for Dan there. So Dan there got past Ryan Dudley, just runs wide himself, which that won't help with traction, and yep, as we see, he's very close to Ryan, but they good respect from each other and give themselves enough racing room. Yeah, give each other enough room, give each other like a car width and then net code, I think. Make sure you can finish the end of the race. Been at the end of the race. You know what? We've got about 7 minutes left. It's kind of gone, but it's not really gone. As we see Dan Mould now just try to move. He will have the outside and the inside. Ryan Dudley lets him have it. That's 4th position, plus 10 positions Dan Mould. And he'll be looking to catch one of his nemesis from last season, John Brown, who's taken the last podium position. And further up ahead, it looks like the Ignium cars are like 7-8 seconds ahead of that battle, so may not get that gap done. I think these guys are in the 29.7s, 29.9s. So yeah, that's pretty much a couple of tenths off of Dan Mould at his best, I think. So maybe a bit of a tall order for him to close that, but Dan will try, and he'll also have to try to get past John Brown. John Brown won't make this easy.
That's right. As we see there, Ryan's just got past Dan again on the inside. So
yeah, turns out Ryan's not going to make it easy either, Rob.
No, we've currently got one comment on chat there saying, "Come on, Dudley." So, some reason, somehow positive vibes are being channeled through the internet to Ryan and giving him all the ammo he needs to fight with Dan, the last year's champion.
Well, it's working because the boy is bringing it to the mould, and it's nice to see the Dudley fan club in chat. Anyone else is watching? Please tell us who you're cheering for, and we shall show you some cheer on your behalf.
Just as we
Scott Malcolm hasn't got as close as I thought to this battle.
No, I think he's just biding his time there. He's staying back, playing that sensible race, I think, where you got Dan all over the back of Ryan and John. So we know with the TCRs and with these bunch of lads, one little error and they could knock each other off, and it could be a couple of free places gained.
From a man who knows, there are some really good places to throttle save around here if you are knocked off. I have been mispronouncing the corner for most of the race. China Hill, China Bend. It's actually China Beach, and it's called China Beach because there's a big, beach the other side of the big corner, really. So yeah, which is what happens when you miss that corner and go over. You are essentially beached. So yeah, I've been mispronouncing that. That's all right. I've not seen this track for about 5 years, I don't think, in iRacing. But still, yep. Dean Hammond once again slides a little bit wide, absolutely murdering his tyres, and that's I think that must be Mark Brown behind him, and the flashing insignia car. That must be Elliot James, Rob.
Yep, so we've got Mark Brown, Elliot James chasing behind Dean Hammond there, and then behind him we've got Daniel Wareham as well. So the cars in 9th to 12th position are all very close, as we just see there. Elliot and Mark give Dean a little flash in front.
I think Daniel Wareham's been off track a couple of times and has dropped quite a few positions, at least 3. I think he's dropped to the back of his back, actually. So he'll get his tyres back, trying to work his way forward a little bit. Yeah, Mark Brown is a bit of a fan of the lights today. This is a Honda trio, isn't it? We just seen Dean Blink. That was pretty scary, wasn't it? I think Mark reacted to that as well. So yeah, we're just seeing a bit of a Honda trio, and it's good to see Dean Hammond in the race. I think this is his 3rd week in the championship.
Yeah, it's hopefully his internet keeps going on and he doesn't blink too much and cause an accident with the cars behind. There's nothing worse than that when you're trying to attack a car and 1 minute he's there, next second he's gone.
Yeah, no, it's that is a bit scary, to be honest. And look, a bit of a touch there from Mark Brown, and we might have just missed that as this 4-way's reignited again between John Brown as he tries to keep Dan Mould behind him still, and then further on.
So heavy on into turn 2 to keyhole on the brakes, but again the outside of a hairpin, not really the best place, but he's looking for a great exit there now on the run down to China Beach.
I think John Brown did kind of try and park him a little bit as he tried that switchback, but still John instantly went on the defensive, and now they go side by side over the Brown into the defence, and it looks like John might just get this track position maybe, but Dan's just got the cut back into the left.
Yep, John there, he had the inside for the first right-hander, but then Dan had for turn 5, he had the inside, but there you go, Dan now around the outside of turn 6 into turn 7, just gets it done, and also Ryan Dudley there, he manages to get his position too.
Very opportunist from Dudley. That is a mini freight train, that's a classic TCR freight train. You get moved offline for one corner, and the opportunist will come through straight away. Very fortunate for John that Scott Malcolm didn't stick his nose in, but John just overdriving into the corner of the carousel, and now that will be very much in the hands of Scott Malcolm as he tries to take advantage maybe of any traction problems. Yeah, I think we've probably got a lap and a bit left, Rob.
Yeah, we've just gone 18.5 now, and Neil on his 13th, currently on his 13th lap. So I don't think this is the white flag. I think he'll get the white flag next time by.
So we've not seen the 2 Ignium cars really since the opening lap. It looks at the moment like a flag-to-flag race for Neil Stevenson, because he certainly came through turn 1 in the lead, because we saw Andrew McKinley have a terrible start at the start of the race, and he just clawed it back a little bit. So this is a recommencement of 3rd position to 5th position. Current order is Dan Mould, Dudley Brown, and Scott Malcolm. And it's just called off a little bit, Rob.
Yeah, I was just about to say, they've settled down a bit there now. Dan's got past all of them. He's just slightly gapping away from Ryan. Ryan with that opportunistic move past John manages to get into 4th position, and again he's gapped John now to about 0.75 of a second, 3/4 of a second there. And yeah, I think he's just going to take it easy and bring the car home.
I think we've missed Daniel Wareham gain a few positions. Look close, he's gone through that back. So I think we've missed that. We can see Barney now, white flag. So last.
No, that's the
lap.
checkered flag.
That's the checkered. We've seen it. No, is it?
I don't know. It looks.
It's just colours, isn't it? It's just colours and stuff.
It's.
No, that does look like the white flag. I have looked at it slowly. There's white. There's no black on that. So this is the last lap for these guys.
So there we go. 14th lap. Like I said, Neil, he's out in front now by 2 seconds over Andrew. So it's a nice, calm, controlled race. And obviously Neil is a previous winner of Season 2 overall championship. So this looks like a good start for him.
I could probably, if I file my papers correctly, tell you how many races he's won in his Tanso career. Dan Mould has set the fastest lap of 1:29.6. I think he might have done that earlier. I think actually you can probably see that on the timing board, dear viewers. As we see the what is it with Hondas and lights that blink all the time? Is this a VTEC thing?
Either that or they've changed some buttons around all of them, and changed, because I believe there's one series once the one driver mapped his light flash to his gear change.
Craig A. Williams. I remember that. That went down like a ton of bricks, didn't it? Poor Daniel Wareham is probably having a little disco in his car, because that's 2 people behind him just giving him a flash. Bit of a send from the Honda guys. I think we just actually missed Neil Stevenson cross the line.
No, he's just coming around the carousel now, so we just quickly jump to him as he comes around the final corner, and we watch him there cross the line in 1st position.
Right, okay, so that's 1st position. 2nd position we saw McKinley. 3rd position, and this might be something we have to go back for. Dan Mould looks like he went off in a part of the track, so
yep, that's right.
We'll probably need to see what happened there. But over the line goes John Brown for 3rd position, followed by Malcolm in 4th, and Sam J. Smith. That's a fantastic recovery. He started 5th, finishes 5th for him. And yeah, now we come to see the Daniel Wareham battle. See what happens there.
That's right. So we've got Daniel Wareham, Dean Hammond, Mark Brown, and Elliot James. So as we see one car there, Mark and Dean drag race to the line.
Right. So because we've got iRacing race 1 things going on, we might need to go back straight away to see what happened to Dan Mould, and just to clear that up, Rob.
Yep, we'll jump back to Dan there now as we see him come around the bend. Goes wide. Oh, must have on the brakes, touches the grass. Oh, unlucky there. Ryan hits him. Oh, crikey. It's a massive crash there, really.
So, yeah, that's a bit of a consequence for at the start of the race. That's a bit unlucky from Dan. But that is the end of race number 1. So we'll put up the classified positions for you, and my colleague will take you through it.
Yep, so up there now on the sorry, can't even speak, on the, basically we've got the results up on screen now. So we've got Neil Stevenson in 1st place, Andrew McKinley in 2nd, John Brown in 3rd, Scott Malcolm in 4th, Sam J. Smith in 5th, Derek Crowder in 6th, Dan Mould in 7th position, Ryan Dudley came home in 8th, Daniel Wareham in 9th, Dean Hammond in 10th, Mark Brown in 11th, Elliot James 12th, Alan McCain in 13th place, and JT Johnson coming home in 14th position.
Right, so the next order of business is there's going to be a 5-minute warm-up, which we're almost a minute through. So we will take a quick break. We might put up a Holden screen with the dates and the championship tracks, just so anyone interested might want to join. There is a Discord link in the description of the YouTube, so feel free to hop on that. And if you're interested in joining this championship, that's a very good way to get started in joining said championship. But we shall see you in a few minutes. I am almost back.
Almost back.
How long we got? Oh, just under a minute. Try to go live with 30 seconds to go. How does that sound?
What's that?
Try to go live with 30 seconds to go.
Yeah, that's 10 seconds left.
Okay, call me in.
Okay. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Neil Stevenson win the heat race. And what's next? Well, that's easy. But it sounds easy. Might not be easy in application, but it's a 12-car reverse grid. So I think, using my man maths, that means we've got an Elliot James, Mark Brown front row, and everyone else behind. So we should see some interesting racing, I think, as we were going to go to grid.
Yeah, that's right there, Rob. But just quickly, we've got the points after the first race up on screen at the moment. So obviously we've got Neil, who's leading the way on 40 points, and Andrew McKinley in second, followed by John Brown in third place.
Can I bring some stats into the equation as opposed to numbers? That's Neil Stevenson's 6th win in Tanso.
I'm sure he'll be very happy with that as well, won't he, Neil?
Yeah. Sorry. Yeah. I just thought I'd throw it in before it went in one ear and out the other. So right. So we're going to put the grid up on the screen in a minute after the points.
Grid's up on screen now.
We won't take you through it just yet, because I think they're all going to be on grid now, forming up. But you can see, I'll be very quick. Elliot James, Mark Brown, front row. Hammond and Wareham, second row. Third row, Dudley and Mould. Fourth row, Crowther and Sam J. Smith, keeping us waiting once again. Malcolm Brown in 6th row. 7th row, McKinley and Stevenson, first, second for the last race. And then McCain and JT Johnson bring up the rear. So, lights are on. Revs are up.
Oh, it looks like we've got a jump start there from Elliot James. He just seemed to creep forward ever so slightly.
Yeah, and he's done that thing where he's lifted off, hoping he's not going to get pinged. But we'll see as they go into the first corner. Looks like Mark Brown's got a little bit of a gap, and looks like Elliot James is going to hold up everyone else, I think, a little bit. But Dean Hammond gets around the outside and then the inside into turn number 2. And Dan Mould's there like a violent wasp at a picnic. And into the hairpin he goes. I think he just carries a bit too much speed on cold tyres, just a little bit wide. That's let the Matrix machine, Dan Wareham, up the inside now as they go down the old start for the straights. And it's getting a little bit packed in the midfield, which is very typical of a Tanso reverse grid. And we can see maybe a little bit of bump draft, and then I think that's Ryan Dudley looking a little bit spicy behind the Matrix machine. And this is going to be a very, very spicy China bend, I think. A little bit of a touch. Looks like Hammond gets just sent a little bit out. It doesn't look like there's a bit of damage. There's a bit of chaos behind with the code brown machine off. And his Signia car off, or Hignian car off. That's number 74, which is Scott Malcolm, and Dean Hammond's having further trouble. And round the wrong way. Oh, it's the 50% man. It's Neil Stevenson, Rob.
That's it's unfortunate for Neil, that, isn't it? He always seems to get tangled up in incidents there. But yeah, a lot seemed to happen there as I was trying to look at the timing and other things. It just all seemed to go off on one, didn't it?
Yeah, all seemed to kick off. It compressed on the back straight, and it just, I think one of the guys had a little bit of a touch at the front, and I think that was the Dean Hammond car. And then I think really everyone else kind of reacted. See one of these Signia cars, I think that's Elliot James, just going to the pit lane.
That's right, yeah.
Tanso does have a fast repair, so he will be fixing his car. And because it's quite a short pit lane, he will probably come out on the back of these guys. Presuming he's unticked all his tyres and unticked all of his fuel and all that sort of stuff. He should have a fairly quick stop, Rob.
Yep, it's looking at on the timing screen, 4-second stop there now. So he had a very, very quick pit stop. And
yeah, no, I think he's called it a day. I think that's enough for him. We have seen Dan Mould resume the fight with Ryan Dudley that we saw in race number 1. And they are side by side once again. Not for the first time this race. Dan just biased a little bit outside as well. Daniel Wareham is taking a look as well, see if these guys come together like they did in the first race.
Yeah, I think Ryan was a bit unlucky. He got caught up. Then as Dan touched the grass and spun the car, and Ryan was the first one on the scene. And unfortunately, with as you said, the track being very undulating, he was probably a bit of a blind entry, and he had nothing else to do but hit Dan square in the side.
And these boys are all on the same Discord, so Bit of a blind entry, but someone would have been screaming, no doubt, if they were facing the wrong way on the circuit. And there is the remaining Ignium car at the front. It looks like Andrew McKinley, sorry, is currently in 6th position. Just trying to catch up this pack, and you'll see him behind the teammates machine. There you go. And straight behind him is a guy we've not seen much of at the minute, and that's Derek Crowther. But as we go behind the trees, we should keep an eye on Dan Mould. This is where the fight is. Pretty much resuming race number 1. And he's all over the back of the other Velastar of Ryan Dudley.
Yeah, there you see Dan's is just trying to, I think, as we see Daniel Wareham go slightly wide, well, not wide, but his backhand steps out, but he managed a
I
good
think he
save
straddled
there.
a bit too much to that curb. That's the separator between the Tan sends it on the inside of the hairpin. That's, tell you what, he absolutely judged that down to a T, and he looks like he's got that move done. In front of him, Sam J. Smith, currently sitting in 2nd position. He's +6. Amongst all that chaos, Sam J. Smith gained 6th position and is almost clear. You know what? Another blink for Mark Brown. He's got a button set up wrong. I think he's having some steering wheel problems there, I think. But yeah, this is a fantastic 1, 2, 3 at the minute.
Yep, as we, I think that 1, 2, 3 will get a lot closer as well over the next coming laps. As the last lap, Sam was a second quicker than Mark, and Dan was a second quicker still over Sam. So Dan 2 seconds quicker than Mark that last lap, 1 second quicker than Sam. So I think the top 3 will soon conglomerate, if that's the right word. And,
no, that's completely the wrong word, but no, it makes sense. Just pass it off like it works.
Yeah.
Conglomerate, yes, let's large businesses up. I think Mark Brown, so this is the joy of the reverse grid. You get a guy that gets a really good start, there's a bit of chaos behind, he gets a few seconds of fresh air, and before you know it, it's 3-4 minutes in the race, and he's still in the lead. So reverse grids is all about going backwards as slow as you can, unless you're quick enough to get away from the guys in front. And Mark Brown currently is doing a fantastic job of that at the moment. As we see McKinley coming through the back, and he gets turn 1 done much nicer than the Audi in front, and he's just trying to work his way out, so work out how to get past Daniel Wareham in the Team Matrix Audi.
Yeah, but as we see there, he goes a bit deep looking for the outside line, and again the outside line and keyhole doesn't quite work. But hopefully now, as we see Daniel there, gets a bit of a wobbly start from start.
Yeah, bit of a lie. Sometimes in these TCRs, you think you can get like a sexy sort of cutback, you know, really elaborate swing out, swing back in, do them up the straight. Doesn't quite work. These cars like momentum through the corners, and there's only a finite amount of grip and tyre heat you've really got to play. So sometimes if you throw yourself around too much, you could detrimentally scrub off too much speed, and you can really conglomerate it all up. Now we've got a 3-way fight to lead, Mr. Jackson.
Yep, as I predicted, the Dan and Sam have caught up to the back of Mark as Sam there goes up the inside of Thunder Valley, getting the first position.
Yes,
but as he holds it round the outside
called
there.
Thunder Valley. So into the carousel, the lead has changed. Sam J. Smith is now in the lead, and he'll be hoping that Mark Brown holds up the chase in Dan Mould and Ryan Dudley.
Yep, so the top four have pulled a nice little gap over Andrew McKinley in 5th by a good 2 seconds. As Mark is under pressure from Dan. He gets a better drive off turn number 1 as he goes deep into the braking for the keyhole, holds around the outside and manages to make it stick. So he makes a liar out of me saying the outside line does not work. Klaxon,
successful outside pass at the keyhole. Everyone got their bingo sheet because that's one of my bingo little answers. Successful pass around the outside. Another one of my answers that's not been met yet is someone fires it off into China Beach. That hasn't quite been done yet. But we can see Mark Brown now trying to hold off Ryan Dudley.
As we see Daniel and Derek just changed places there on the timing tower.
And we also missed Andrew getting past Daniel. Well,
that must have, I just saw something on the timing tower, so it must have been that, but Andrew must have had a slight issue because Daniel was definitely not that. He's 2 seconds behind Andrew, so.
Something must have happened. Must have happened. We may go back a little later on, a little bit of a mystery, a Tanso mystery maybe, but Mark Brown has completed another lap and looks like he's successfully held off Ryan Dudley.
Yep.
And there isn't a fight for the lead yet.
No, not quite. There is a 0.6 of a second gap, so Dan is hot on the heels and is nicely in the position of toe to gain a gap on Sam. As we see, Andrew also has closed the gap now to less than a second on the 2 cars in front of Mark Brown and Ryan Dudley.
I've just had a look in the... whoa, that's descent from Ryan Dudley. Well, is he going to hold the corner? Looks like he slides right out, and now he's just going to try and get the outside line done. And he might get a fair bit of speed off that, actually, because Mark Brown has to hold the inside line. And, well, we've seen some sends there. That's not a klaxon, because that's not a successful pass. Not yet, but it's a bit of a drag race down through the kink. And Andrew McKinley will be looking in behind to see what goes on as they go side by side. And as they still narrow arc it through this combination of corners now. And this will really... Oh, it's a little bit of touch there. Just to, they need to leave a little bit more room. I think we might just grab a quick replay. That looks like Andrew McKinley slowed down just to see if there's an opportunity to give the space back. But I think we should probably go see a little bit of replay of that, Rob.
Yep, let's just jump back there now.
So, yeah, just, you know... Yeah, maybe Ryan was expecting Andrew to just to take the corner a little bit earlier, maybe, as we're looking at the car of JC Johnson now. So I think if we go back live, we should be able to see closest battle on track involves a Crowther, involves a Brown, and we do have all Brown. No, we have 2 out of 3 Browns here today. We haven't quite got a Brown quorum, R3, but we can see John Brown. We can see Derek Crowther in front, and that's Daniel Wareham behind. So this is the fight for 5th position currently on track, and this is a fight for the lead. It's gone on.
No, fight for 2nd position. Dan has dropped back down, and we see Ryan Dudley has actually crashed recently. So I think we might just jump back and have a look at that one and see what happened with Ryan. Yeah,
have these 2 guys come together again. We can see Ryan just sliding around. Obviously, we saw him have a little bit of drama with Andrew McKinley earlier. So that might have been why he dropped back, but I think we need to see why Mr. Mole dropped back.
So as we see, Dan just slows down.
He might have got to slow down through turn number 1, or he might just have just fancy dropping back and trying to go to first again. He doesn't do that. I did just have a look at the channel where they all are, and he's muted, so I presume he's concentrating a little bit.
Yeah, he definitely means business there if he's muted.
We've not seen Alan McCain for a while in the Matrix Audi. There we go. He's currently being chased by the recovering Ryan Dudley and the recovering Andrew McKinley. I think Andrew McKinley might have dropped many positions just to go behind Ryan again. Maybe feeling a little bit guilty that perhaps he caused a bit of an unfortunate accident earlier. Well, I didn't say caused. That's open for debate. So this is one of the good things about this league. They're all in the same Discord channel. So there's the rule that I call the "don't be a dick" rule, and it's in effect here basically. So they all get on. It's all kind of quite gentlemanly about it, and as much of a gentleman as these bunch of righteous Northerners can be. And that's said from a Southerner point of view. But it's all nice, and yeah, you will see stuff like that. If there is a bit of contact that does disadvantage someone, you will just see them give the place back because they're here for a laugh basically, and they're here for a good time. And if they're having a good time, then and that's a bit of a disco like there still from Mark Brown. If they're having a good time, it tends to translate onto the circuit, and if it's on the circuit, it tends to translate to the stream, ladies and gentlemen. And this is where we are right now as Dan Mould looks up behind Sam J. Smith going through the twisty bits.
Yep, so we've got a nice battle here for the 1st place position. As we see Mark Brown leading Sam and Dan around the track as they are just coming around turn 9 and entering from the valley.
A bit of a twitch there as Sam J. Smith tries to get a better line up on Mark Brown, and now they're going to go 3 wide through the kink into the carousel, and looks like Mark Brown's got the inside that turns into the outside. Now we're going to go 3 wide into the carousel. Rob Jackson, I didn't have this on my bingo card.
Yep, no, he's 3 wide in the carousel. It's very brave manoeuvring there by them all. But again, it's the 4th season now of, as we see Dan there gets 2nd place from Sam. But it's just about to say it's the 4th season now of the Tanso League. So everyone by now does know each other and knows who they can battle with, how far they can push each other. And as you say, all in the same Discord. So I'm sure they will be telling each other how they feel about each manoeuvre too.
And we can see Dan just showing himself up behind Mark Brown here. And yeah, Mark's probably going to be looking at his rears quite a lot now because he's been under pressure for quite a few laps now. As I will just do a check in race number 1 to see how many laps we had. So we had 14 laps in race number 1. That was a grid pace order. So I think we might see 14, maybe 13 laps. We'll keep an eye on that. So that means we've got plenty of racing ahead for you guys as we're on with McKinley again as he's catching Dudley in the 2 Team Matrix machines. 2 Teams Matrix machines currently in 6th and 7th position.
That's right, and well, quite frankly, I think Sam and Dan are toying with Mark here to really just showing themselves a little bit and just trying to make his force and error out of him, which has actually enabled Derek Crowther and John Brown in 4th and 5th to close the gap slightly. As we just see there, Dan and Mark do come together, and Dan goes off the track and drops back.
No, that's the unfortunate thing when you race close. There is a front bumper hanging off of Dan Mould. That's a bit of a shame that this exhibition really turned out like that. But now Sam J. Smith is in the lead, and he's probably going to try and put the hammer to the floor a little bit now. Derek Crowther up in the 3rd position. I will get a stat because we do like to curse a little bit here. So we may as well go all in. And if I learn how to spell Mark Brown, I can see that he's actually had 6 top 5s. His highest finish to date, Rob, is 4th.
That's, so Mark Brown is on for it. Well, no, I won't say anything.
We can't. Yeah, why not? Yeah, this could be his first podium. If they play it right, this could be his first podium. He's
now
only got 4 laps.
But there's also, well then, yeah, he's got Derek behind him by 0.2 of a second, and then it's a 2-second gap back to Daniel in the Matrix car, and Daniel is lapping similar pace, if not slightly slower than Mark, or the last laps especially were. So yeah, he's marked off for a good shout there, really, isn't he? Yeah,
that's fantastic, and we're now able to see the new insignia paint in a little bit more detail where we were. He has got the same colour wing mirrors though, which is a nice thing. And we got the formation flying of the 2 Audis, which is fantastic. I don't think I've seen this many Audis in a TCR grid in a while, Rob. I tell you, it's good to see 3 of them out today.
Yep, that's right. It's nice now that we've got 4 cars in the class, and at least we've got a nice. Well, we've at least got one of every car in this league at the moment as well, so it's not quite a spec series, so yeah, it just breaks up the grid ever so slightly.
Yeah, I think Dan Moll's retired. I think also John Brown's had a bit of an off, maybe. He's jumped back to the pits. So as we see JT Johnson go side by side with Dean Hammond, as they a little bit of a battle here. I think this is probably quite a good battle to watch, I think, to its conclusion, as JT just shows himself the inside, and Dean is just trying to cut back and try to get a run out the last corner.
Yep, there we go. He gets that little cut, gets a better run. So he goes up the inside into T1. And as JT there, just using his elbows there, trying to knock Dean off the track. But
He's not letting him have it his own way, is he? But that's a complete move from Dean Hammond, a successful complete move. And I'm just trying to see. I think Mark Brown's had a bit of a schnook. I think we've absolutely cursed Mark Brown, because I think he's just had a bit of an off track. As we see, actually, Ryan Dudley and Andrew McKinley. Looks like this time Andrew McKinley's managed to get past Ryan without a lot of contact, Rob.
Yep, I think it was I say a cleaner pass. I don't mean it in a sense that one of them was overly aggressive or dirty earlier, but pass with no contact. So Andrew now is in front of Ryan, and he can chase on down the 2 Matrix cars and try and attack them as well.
I didn't have pass cleanly on my bingo card either for this race. Dean Hammond's just got back past JT Johnson's just got back past Dean Hammond, I think, so you might have missed that a little bit. Yep. But I think if we just focus on the front a little bit, because we're coming up towards the last couple of laps of this race, Mark Brown still holding out a successful 2nd place, Sam J. Smith, and just keeping Derek Crowther behind him in formation. This is a +7 positions for Sam J. Smith, beaten only actually by Alan Kane, who's +8 and currently in 5th position. And those cars are the 2 Matrix cars you can see flying formation behind, and they'll be caught up by Ryan Dudley. Rob, someone we've completely missed out on because we thought he was dead and buried in the first lap is the 16 car, Neil Stevenson.
Yep, that's right. I spotted he's back out on the track, so he's made use of the fast repair in this league that they have. And yeah, he's shown well there to get back out, get driving, and pick up some important points to help in his championship mission. I
And
suppose.
he's a former champion, so he's an expert at getting these kind of things. So it's fantastic to see him back out and catching the back of the pack still, because he will be lapping quite well. Look at Derek Crowther and his little orange winglets. Every time I mention Derek, we go to a Team Matrix car. And now we see the two Team Matrix cars trying to hold off Andrew McKinley. As one of them goes off the track a little bit. I think that's Alan McCain.
Just goes slightly wide there. But Andrew, he'll have the bit between his teeth now, and he can sense blood, I should say, and he'll be looking to attack the Matrix cars and maybe gain another 1 or 2 positions to finish the race.
Alan's struggling with the front of that car a little bit over the bumps. Have we exhausted all the Matrix jokes, or is this a Neo season?
It's
Ha ha. Thank you very much. That might be a slowdown for Alan McCain, because he was straddling that curve, and you can see he's got a cone under him. Poor old cone is probably exiting. Yeah, he's just slowed down now. That's 2 positions lost for him. Eagerly taken up by McKinley and Dudley through, and that's now, as he's carrying a cone around, probably think he's got a bit of damage. Alan McCain drops a couple of positions to 7th position. And further up the road, Mark Brown just holding the defensive line now from the Insignia car of Derek Crowther. And Mark Brown, we can see, he's done quite a lot of these defensive lines so far in this first good race. He's done them quite well, and he's just holding Derek Brown out there. So Derek Brown won't get the undercut. Mark Brown's going to have the inside for the next corner, and hopefully he'll have the inside corner for the inside for the corner after that, which he has.
I think if Derek would have, Mark would have been a sitting duck there if it was 2 right-handed corners as he went in deep. But I think with the left-hander, long left-hander in turn 5, it just helped him hold position and stay in front of Derek in that second position.
Me says that if these guys get at it now, we're going to have like an 8-car fight for 3rd position, I think. So Derek might want to pick and choose, and I think we've just seen we just missed the finish of the race. I think we see Barney shaking the checker flag here. The feature race winner goes to the Simtech car of Sam J. Smith, followed by Mark Brown and Derek Crowther. So first podium ever for Mark Brown. 4th position, that might be a PB for him. Daniel Wareham, 5th position, Andrew McKinley. Ryan Dudley comes home as 6th, Alan McCain is 7th. Neil Stevenson, a fantastic recovery in 8th position, and another fantastic recovery from Scott Malcolm in 9th position. All these points will matter. And Dean Hammond, I think it looks like he did manage to get past JT Johnson in the end. They were having a bit of a battle.
Yep, so he's 2 seconds to the good now in front of JT as he comes around the final bend now and takes the checkered flag and comes home in 10th position, and JT Johnson in 11th with John Brown. He's still circulating as well as he's coming up to turn 9. Did we see him go off somewhere? Oh no, he was in the pits again. So
he was, yeah. He's still circulating, hopefully to get some points. The code Brown Machine. We have 2 people classified as DNF, Dan Mould and Elliot James, who we saw have that early off. And but yeah, 12 finishes in a feature race, in a reverse grid feature race around Mid-Ohio. Rob, that's pretty good.
Yeah, no, it's very good. There's some clean racing, some hard battles, and there's not much. What's the word I was after there? I don't know. My mind's gone blank.
Bingos, full houses. There wasn't much opportunity for using all of my bingo cards for clean pass around the corner, clean pass, or absolute chaos in China Beach. As we can see, actually, on the external shot, we can see the nice little beach down there. No one currently sunbathing. The stewards don't like it when you do that. But fantastic second race, Mr. Jackson.
Yep, good races. We just got the results up on screen there. So we got Sam Smith, just to confirm them, in 1st position, followed by Mark Brown, Derek Crowther in 3rd, Daniel Wareham in 4th, Andrew McKinley in 5th, Ryan Dudley in 6th, Alan McCain in 7th, Neil Stevenson 8th, Scott Malcolm in 9th, and Dean Hammond rounding up the top 10. JT Johnson finished 11th, and John Brown coming home in 12th. And as we see, Dan Mould and Elliot James were both non-classified finishers in 13th and 14th.
So, as we wait to see if anyone wants to pop up for an interview, anyone that finished on the podium, I think we should probably have your driver of the day, Mr. Jackson.
I think I would probably have to go with, especially just for that race alone, Mark. He did really well. He was very defensive throughout the second race, so it takes a lot to do 20 minutes defensive driving, not make many mistakes, and keep the car on the track. So I think he did really well for that, and of course topped it off with his first ever podium in the league.
Yeah, I'm a man that does like first evers, so that's a fantastic effort from Mr. Brown. I think I just want to see if there's anyone with a higher aggregate finish. There probably is, but I'll give mine to Mr. Brown as well, because that's a fantastic effort from him from a reverse grid, and I think well done, Mr. Brown.
Yep.
Congratulations.
Just as obviously as we was talking through that there, I've got the championship standings up on the screen as well, and we're currently unofficial, obviously, until we just double check, make sure there's no penalties applied afterwards. We've got Neil Stevenson leading the way on 100 points, followed by Andrew McKinley on 97 and Sam Smith in third position on 92.
So they'll take these championship positions. They'll have a long, hard think about what they did. And they'll be back, ladies and gentlemen, in 2 weeks' time for round 2 of the Tanso TCR car series, touring car series. And Mr. Jackson, that's at the best circuit in the world, or in this service, Donny National, which is the correct layout. So that's going to be 2 weeks. If there's a car you're going to have fun around that circuit, it's a touring car. This is the most tried and tested formula on the iRacing service, I should say. But that's going to be 2 weeks' time, Mr. Jackson, and that's going to be some fantastic racing.
Yep, you absolutely love that track, don't you? And it is a good track once you get to know it. It's it's a typical TCR touring car track, really, isn't it?
Yep, we all barrel down the hill, we all barrel down Craners, and try and hold on tight and see if we all come out the other side, really. Much like some corners around here, to be absolutely honest, in mid-Ohio. But, ladies and gentlemen, we shall see you in a couple of weeks' time, and hopefully, if anyone's watching and wants to join in, there's a Discord link in the description. Feel free to hop on, inquire, and hopefully we'll see some people next week.